So here's a perfect example, right, of a narrative that has been. I don't know why it's so easy and prevalent in America. Like, if you go and look at all these, now I'm not. I should have started this by saying I'm not for Trump. I'm not for Biden. I'm not for any of them. Before people start saying, "Oh, look, he's with Trump," I don't give a fuck about any of them. I'm here, and I'm here to show you how humans are easily manipulated, right? Easy, so easy to manipulate people. I swear. So some of them might turn up because they're being paid, right? Some of them know that, say, let's take for instance the sides that are being thrown here in our face, right? You've the left v right, right? Republicans against Democrats, blah blah blah, all that stuff, right? It's not nothing about uniting at all. It's always about the other side is wrong. The other side is wrong. Okay. There are some when the guy that's holding this camera, he's obviously choosing the side of Trump. Okay, by going up and asking these questions because he's interested to know why these are out and why they're labeling like Trump as a fascist. Okay. Even I've seen other videos where he's done them, and when he goes up and talks to these people, they're starting to recognize that the videos that he's putting out are against them. So when he walks up and he says, like, "Were you paid to be here?" They're going, "Yeah." Who paid you? George Soros. See, they know, but they say George Soros for a reason because they think they're getting one up. You know, they think they're getting one up on this guy that's recording because I can tell you now, Soros has been investing in these rainbow revolutions for years. He's dead now, but I mean, his company, the Open Society, they're one of the really worst organizations out there. This Open Society, they want like the global citizen and all that. But anyway, let's have a listen to. It's only 2.5 minutes long, so let's have a listen to this, and I'll come in and do the usual thing again. But see, I noticed this about the Asian people, like Chinese, Japanese. They can't. Most of them can't help but be honest. It's a weird thing. It's a weird trait, especially the Japanese. Like the Japanese are really honest, like and honourable and all. But I don't know if he's Japanese or Chinese, but however, have a listen to what he says.
So what makes Trump a fascist? What makes Trump a fascist?
He does things without
You gotta talk loud. I don't have my mic on.
I'm not really.
I love your man's accent. You gotta talk louder. Right, sorry.
Good interviews.
Sorry?
He just does everything he wants, and not following laws or he's a convicted felon. That's all I know.
But your sign says he's a fascist, and I'm just curious what makes him a fascist.
One of the things is that he's trying to control the media, right?
Say that again?
He's trying to control the narrative.
How is he trying to control the media? Doesn't every president try to control the narrative?
They try to control their own narrative, but one of the things that Trump's has done, for example, is the renaming the Gulf of Mexico, and then not allowing the Associated Press to come into the White House. Basically, trying to get.
What are your feelings about him renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America when a majority of the Gulf is in fact on the coast of America as opposed to Mexico?
I mean, it's kind of pointless. People.
Is it pointless?
Yeah, people call it the Gulf of Mexico.
Don't you think it could have a positive tourism impact potentially?
Tourism has been down heavily.
So I don't want to get into a tourism debate. My question is, the sign says the fascist Trump regime must go.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious what makes him a fascist. You pointed out that maybe something about his relationship with the media, he wants to control it, but
yeah.
How? Again, you're calling him a fascist.
Yeah, well,
what makes him a fascist?
One of the core tenets of fascism is creating an enemy, right? And blaming those problems on
What's
the enemy.
that?
Here it is. This little bit of this is why I wanted to show you this video. And he says at the end something quite profound again. This is the second day in a row I've come across videos that, like, they say something quite profound in it. And whether they know it's profound or not, I don't know. But
Oh, yeah,
So-
the paper gave me, yeah.
Who gave you that?
The people that gave me the sign. It's a free sign.
Oh, someone gave you the sign,
Yeah.
and then they gave you the handout.
Yeah.
So are you reading it now to try to answer the question?
Yeah, but I mean.
Can I see that? Can you hold that
I'm
up?
just not.
No, I'm just curious.
Maybe you can have it.
I can have it?
Yeah, you can have it.
Alrighty. So where did you get the sign?
All the way in the gatekeeper's house.
did you hear that? Isn't that profound? I know, right? When you first hear, you're like, yeah, well, he means the park entrance. The park entrances have gatekeepers, but a gatekeeper gave it to him. And he's just so honest about it, you know. It's just shit like that I find weird, you know. A gatekeeper gave it to him. Make of that what you will. You might just say, well, stop your being, like, you know. I could be, but at the same time, that particular word, that's one word that I do, you know, I try highlight, like, especially over in Ireland, where I'm from, we have so many gatekeepers, like radio presenters and all. They're all acting as gatekeepers. And if people want to, probably the best or most well-known person that acts like a gatekeeper on the internet would probably be like the likes of, you know, Alex Jones or David Icke. You know, they give you these little snippets of truth, but then they just go off on mad tangents about aliens and reptiles and lizards and all, you know. See, that's acting as a gatekeeper, because it's going to make people turn around. Well, hang on, what am I actually fucking listening to here? Do you know, is this actually real? I can't imagine it being real. So, you know, that's what a gatekeeper is. It's mad, isn't it? Whether he unwillingly knew it or he's just saying it as it is, like, is the park attendant that acts as the gatekeeper. But yeah, do you know what I mean? It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just pretty cool.
And that's another one? They gave you two pieces of paper?
Here.
Can I have that one too?
Yes, you can have both.
Oh, okay. So what brings you guys out here today?
Just because I saw people were hanging out with people for
Same thing as everyone else. Executive overreach.
Executive overreach. I think this guy's just a bit too full of himself and thinks he knows everything. But yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? Right, like, usually when you go to like a march or a protest or something like this, you bring your own signs. You don't have signs all handed out. Do you know what it reminded me of? I'm going to go back to Ireland again. It kind of reminded me of people for profit. They print out loads of them, and as people turn up, they just hand them to them. But that's not a real protest when you think about it. That's just sheep, you know, NPCs who can't think of their own signs to make, so they just get handed everything and then run with it. And God knows how many of them are being paid, by the way, to be out here. Wonder what the drain is on the financial system in the US with all these people, or how many of them are being paid to be there.